thought I better take a couple of minutes and record a little video explaining my whole thought process and idea behind invitations. Because I'm getting lots of questions, and I love chatting with everybody, but I thought maybe this would be just a quicker approach to kind of get my thoughts out there and share with all of you what I do. I'm hoping to keep this like super short, so excuse me if I talk too fast. But so my why behind doing invitations the way that I do them is that I've discovered they're super effective. And then the other thing is that when you make really fun and exciting invitations, you do not have to invite nearly as many people to your parties. So for instance, in the past, when I would be working with a hostess and doing hostess coaching, I might have to tell the hostess to try to invite around 30 or 40 people, maybe even more than that. And that can be a little intimidating, but I've discovered just through my own parties, when I've done my own parties, like I'm the host and the consultant, this is kind of where I discovered this whole thing. And I was doing fun invitations that I was getting a really, really high percentage of the people there that I invited. So I had to, well, not had to, I actually could adjust the amount of people that I was inviting and still have really successful parties and a good turnout. So when you make really awesome, fun invitations, you are able to have your hostesses just invite maybe like 15 to 20 people, because you're going to get about 80% of the people there typically if you follow my 3-step process for this. So the turnout is just much better, and you don't have to tell people to make a list of like 40 or 50 people. So that's kind of the why. How I actually go about getting ideas for my invitations, it's nothing like, you know, miraculous or anything like that. I'm fairly creative myself. However, I'm busy just like the rest of you, so I just go to Pinterest. I set a time limit though, because if I go to Pinterest, I can get lost and be there for like a way long time. So give yourself like maybe 15 minutes and say, okay, whatever I can find in this 15 minutes, that's what I'm going to work with. And so I just actually do a search for invitations. So let's say it's fall. I'll type in fall party invitations. And then I'll just start scrolling through and looking at the different ideas that are shown on there. Anything that I like, I just pin over to a little idea board that I have for invitations. And I truly don't really have that many pinned because I'll explain that why in a minute. But anyway, just find stuff that you like, pin it over to the board, and then get off of Pinterest. Then it's time for you to actually just go through the process of looking at those invitation ideas and deciding how you can make those work for Scentsy or Velata. And I've discovered that most things you can make work. So that's kind of where I begin. The other thing is, once you have an idea for an invitation and you make your invitations, keep in mind that you don't need to come up with a totally different idea every time you're doing a party with somebody, because typically you're not going to have the same people at each party. So there's some invitations that I will use over and over and over again. I'll just go in and edit the information, you know, the hostess's information and the address and so forth, and the time and the date, because you don't need to reinvent the wheel every time. If the invitation's cute and it's working and it still fits the season or the time of year, then just go for it and use it again so that you don't have to continually be finding new ideas. And then I am going to show you a few invitations that I have used recently. This is one, it's like a little, looks like a little suitcase, and a little bit of a pain, but I'll untie it. So it says the Crepe Escape. So obviously this was a Velata Crepe Escape party that I did, and had the little luggage tag on the outside with the invitee's name. And okay, I'm gonna have to put on my old lady glasses so that I can untie this. All right, and then you open up the suitcase and you have this cute little invitation inside here. So it says it's a Velata Crepe Escape tasting party. Escape the ordinary and indulge in simple, sweet, and savory French tradition of crepe making and, of course, tasting. Say oui, oui, and join us at, and then it's got the information. No need to pack your bags for this escape. Join us and be carried away to a cafe in Paris as you sample scrumptious Velata crepes with a variety of decadent fillings. And then it's got the little RSVP. So these are awesome. Velata crepe parties are like one of my absolute favorites. Now this is going to be a total blast from the past, but I'll show it anyway. So this was the invitation that I did over and over and over again for Grace Adele parties. And I know we don't have Grace Adele any longer, but it just kind of gives you the idea of some things, you know, that you can do and how you can be creative. So it just says a good time is in the bag. It's a girls' night out, fashion, food, and friends. And then it has all the information on there. Remember to insert your personality into your invitations, because that will tell people how fun the party is going to be too. And I always like to keep this in mind. You want your invitations to scream, it's a party and you want to come. You do not want to miss out on this. And that is how you end up getting a lot of people at your parties. And this is another one. It's kind of falling apart. A lot of these are kind of worse for the wear a little bit because they've been through heck. But so it just looks like a Scentsy bar, and these are no longer attached. They fell off. But the Scentsy bar opens up just like our wax bars do. And on the outside, it says Jumping Jelly Bean. It's a Scentsy party. So that kind of tells you how old this is. And then it says you're invited, but guess what? You don't even have to get a babysitter. Wahoo! Bring the kiddos with you. We'll have someone to entertain them for you if you want. And then, oh, it says where and when is this little shindig, you ask? And then it's got the information, you know, blah, 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 all your party info. This is probably my most used Velata invitation from when we first started Velata. So I just found a picture of a strawberry actually online, and then put my information for the party right on there, and then just cut out a little piece of brown paper and paper clipped it to it. And it looks like you've dipped your strawberry in chocolate. So it says, come take a dip at Darcy's Velata Chocolate Fondue Party. Fun fondue with premium Belgian chocolate. And then it's just got her information, of course. So you kind of get the idea. I'll quickly show you some other ideas. This is falling apart. The back of it's gone, but you can see it kind of maybe. So it says happy hour just got happier. It's a quick swig and sniff afternoon hangout. Just imagine you, your favorite Sonic beverage, sniff and Scentsy in the shade with your BFF Sonic sisters. And so this was just something really personalized that I did for a bunch of friends that love to have huge, yummy Sonic drinks in the summertime. And super simple and lots of fun. And here's another little idea. It's just a little chick, and you open it up and it says, all my favorite chicks are joining me for my Scentsy Spring preview. Come join us. And it's got all of the information in there. And then at the bottom, I have a little washi tape with a little piece of paper that I taped in there. It says, and I don't want any of your beak excuses. You better join us. So that's that. And then this is one that I did in the fall. And this is just a picture of it. It says they were actually on little bags, and they were tiny, tiny little bags, like, you know, like that big. So this looks much bigger than it really was. And it says, trick or treat, treat yourself to a girls' night out at Deborah's Scentsy party. And then it's got the information there, and it says you don't want to miss out on all of the amazing fall scents and gorgeous new warmers. So join us, and that's that. And then this was one that I loved doing as well. It's a picture of this, but you can see, so this is the outside of the box. It was actually a box. It had two little tags on it. And then this was the inside of the box. So it has the party information here, and then it has little s'more stuff over here. And on the outside, I think it just said, please join us. Like I said, please join us, please come, the pleasure of company is requested, you know, kind of like a bunch of different little invitation things. And then the invitee's name, and then inside the paper in the top says it's a perfect time for s'mores. S'more warmers, s'more bars, s'more fall, s'more Scentsy. It'll be s'more fun if you come. And every time I do invitations like this, somebody, well, not somebody, lots of people at the party will say, oh my gosh, I totally had to come because of the invitation. I had to see who was crazy enough to make that, or I figured this party is going to be a lot of fun because the invitation was so like over the top. You will always get comments like that, and it just tells you that people appreciate the little extra time and effort that you put into your invitations. And then this was one that I did this fall. And so you can see they're all like lunch bags, and it says lunch, let's do lunch. And then inside was actually the little menu invitation. It had a little fork to it. And it says lunch menu. You're invited to lunch and, you're invited to lunch and Scentsy's on the menu. Order up some fun and join us on Monday at 11:30 for some sodas, chicken salad sandwiches, sweet treats, and Scentsy. And then at the bottom, after it gives all the information, it says it'll be super short, super yummy, and sensationally Scentsy. So one thing you need to keep in mind, obviously some of these invitations are not something you would want to be mailing. So I always just advise you to be working very closely with your hostess to make sure you know if the guests are really close and you and she can hand deliver them. I typically take care of that for my hostesses as much as I can. Or are there people that she works with that she can take the invitations to work with her and hand deliver them there. And if the invitations need to be mailed, then you need to just keep that in mind and make them something that is mailable. But hopefully that helps. I think we've covered, the why. Definitely you're going to be able to have your hostesses provide you with a guest list that is much shorter than they needed to be in the past. And you're going to just have a really good high percentage of people actually come to your parties. Oh, and I did forget to tell you that I do have a 3-step process. So, and this is really key because I don't think that these invitations just standalone can work just on their own. So when I am doing my initial hostess coaching, I actually tell the hostess, okay, so you've decided to have a party. We know the date and the time. I want you to go ahead and send out a save the date type message to all of the people that you're going to be inviting to your party. And I will tell her that she can send it via text, email, Evite, phone call, whatever, PM, whatever, just some electronic message that can go out to people and let them know that they need to save the date. She's having a Scentsy party. It's going to be on this date at this time, and watch for an invitation in the mail. And that's how we get started. And if you want to be super proactive, you can also have her include the link to your PWS with her party. That way, if they can't come, they've already got that. So that's step 1. And then I tell her that once I get all of her guests' names and addresses, that's the word I'm looking for, names and addresses, then I can get these invitations going and delivered. I like to have the invitations actually arrive to the guests about 2 or 3 days before the party. That's it. Because remember, she's already got the save the date out there. She's already kind of got that information, the basic information out there to her guests. And so this is kind of like now it's like this big pow, this big wow, there's a party coming and it's just a couple of days away. So if you are like me, when you get a wedding invitation in the mail and it's like 4 weeks before the wedding and you hang it on your fridge and you see it every day, day after day after day after day after day, and then you stop looking at it because it's been there for so long. And so you forget about it. And then inevitably I will see it like 3 days after the wedding and I've missed it. And I just have to send a gift or something. So this keeps the party idea super fresh in their mind because they only get it 2 or 3 days before. So if you're mailing it so they receive the invitations 2 to 3 days before the party. And if you are hand delivering it, then deliver it 2 to 3 days before the party. So then they get this awesome invitation and they're super excited and like, oh, wow, this is kind of like a bigger deal than I thought. And then the third step would be to actually do reminder calls or text messages the day of the party. So again, 3-step process, an electronic message sent out to tell the people they're having a party, and the time and the date, and to kind of save that date. The second step is the invitations being sent out that are super awesome and fun and gets them all excited to attend the party, and they receive them only 2 to 3 days before the event. And then the third thing is the reminder calls. Hopefully that helps all of you, and if any of you have any questions, feel free to Facebook message me. I'm happy to chat with you about it. Thanks.